What is success for you, and is there a goal? I don't think there's an ultimate goal, really. I think I just like having fun making videos. I think as long as I sort of grow a little bit, I don't really mind. Other than that, I don't mind if it's, 10 a week or if it's 100 a week. I've experienced both this year, and honestly, when I was growing lots, I found it a little bit scary. I didn't really know when it would end. I didn't know why I was growing so much or what I'd done to prompt this kind of reaction. But I kind of got used to growing a lot, and then when I wasn't growing so much, I was thinking, what am I doing wrong? But ultimately, I was just going back to how it was before that growth spurt came on. I think actually for me, the biggest thing, the biggest marker of success is when somebody tells me they loved my video. And it's just such a lovely feeling for someone to say that. And I think really the best feeling I've had is when people say things like, you're my favourite YouTuber, I watch every video, I just wait for your video every Saturday. That's so amazing. I mean, that's just, people across the world saying that. It just really hits you, and it makes you so grateful that people are that bothered by something that you're spending, perhaps a decent amount of time on each week. But still, I'm not a professional video maker. I'm not some great intellectual. I'm just some random woman in the UK making videos about perfume. I don't know. I find it astounding, but it's so lovely to hear.
Doing it the way we've done it is so awkward, and this is going to be cringe. But yeah, Claire, you are one of my favourite YouTubers. I do wait to tune in every Saturday and enjoy your video. But no, yeah, of course that's gonna make it worth doing. I mean, believe it or not, I get the odd comment on Instagram that's not full of what are you doing with your life, you waste it. Some people seem to enjoy it. It does feel good, and the growth spurts. I think we all understand the reality of social media now, don't we? The growth spurts are deliberate. It's all algorithms, isn't it? But it's like these gambling things that give you 3 free bets or something, where you're going to win something. And it's that, isn't it? Oh, look, I got growth, I did really well. And you get, of course, we all want to see something, I guess. I'm not bothered about growing, but I say that, but if I start shrinking. So I get it. It's deliberate, it's a drug. It's you got to keep on making videos to repeat that growth spurt, that good feeling, them endorphins, aren't you? It's genius, but we know how they work, don't we? And yeah, it's crafty. And then what tends to happen, which I suppose maybe they did foresee. I believe thoroughly that Instagram, Meta, Google, YouTube are in on it with the people who sell you subs, because it becomes blatant, doesn't it? They've had that bit of spurt, or they've seen other people grow, so they have to. There's there's patches on Instagram where the algorithm flatten. It just is. It's that exact reason I've just said. The algorithm goes up and down, where you get, you don't need to do anything different or anything at all. It just happens. But what you tend to find is when the algorithm resets, there are still people growing very rapidly, and that's when you know for certain, 100%, if nobody else is growing but these people are. Yeah, well, that's I suppose the shame with social media, isn't it? Anyway, I'm waffling on and on and on. This is your video.
So the next question you have to answer, what do you think makes you so popular and what makes you stand out? I think the thing that makes me stand out is perhaps me making videos that other channels would never probably make. Things that require a lot of research or some kind of synthesis of information. I kind of me using my scientific skills, really. I think, videos like analysing people's declutters, where I've had to watch 20 odd videos in order to be able to do those kinds of videos. They're the kinds of videos that other people probably wouldn't bother to do. And videos where I've had to research the history of a fragrance house, or look at a particular note profile and try to work out which chemicals make up that note profile and how you make something smell of something. I think those videos are the kinds of videos that other people don't tend to do. I think really the thing that makes me stand out as well is just my brutal honesty. I'm just a very honest person. I think, I don't really pull any punches. If I don't like something, I will just say. I'm usually polite. I try to find some kind of joy in it for somebody. I try and say, well, I don't personally like this, but if you like this, you might like this because. But yeah, my honesty over what I don't like and what I do like, and my willingness to say that I don't like things that are very, very popular and that goes against the grain of what other people are saying, perhaps. I also think I stand out because I am just a geek, and I'm always going to be a geek, and there's no point hiding being a geek, because ultimately that's me, and that's probably what's made me so popular in the first place. So I should just embrace being a geek and, make those kinds of videos that fit in with that kind of personality. I also think that I'm someone who's probably more approachable than a lot of channels because I don't dress like I'm going clubbing. I don't pile a load of makeup on and wear a low cut top and get my lips done every couple of weeks. It's just not me. I think I'm just a bit more normal than perhaps a lot of people on YouTube sometimes, especially the bigger channels. I think one person on YouTube who actually I don't have anything against him at all, but he sort of pointed out my channel to his followers, and he described me as intelligent, no tits, and I could be super insulted by that, but I know what he means. He means that you can just watch me to hear what I'm saying, and it's not necessarily something you're going to watch me for how I look. And I don't think that anybody should watch me for how I look. I want people to watch me because of what I'm saying, and they value what I'm saying. But I just thought that was such a brutally honest comment, and I absolutely love that comment in a way. But I know that some people could take that badly, but I really didn't take that badly. I thought that was a really interesting comment.
Yes, I think you're right, and I'm probably going to get myself into trouble with this. Don't you tend to find the bigger influencers are very low effort, aren't they? Sitting in front of the camera, flashing up the bottles, not saying anything about anything. They're the popular ones. And then people who dare to be a bit different, not algorithm friendly. That's they get stunted growth and what have you. But they're the people you can pick any one of these massive generic influencers. Just watch one of them, because otherwise you're just going to get the same videos, aren't you? But there's people that really stand out. Like for me, there's you, Lizzie, Claire, Sam, My World of Fragrance, Josephine to a point, Clemence. There are people who do it differently, who I will watch all the stuff of, and more new people coming through, and that I enjoy as well. I think my unique standing point is that I'm not going to just keep repeating the same post. Here's the notes off Fragrantica, here's a skew with over edited picture off my kitchen side. I'm a product photographer. It's not me. I want to make it interesting. I want to make people understand. I do the reviews where I go through them, but I say what I smell, not what's listed or what's the point. And obviously the more kind of abstract posts I do, they're for everyone. Look at a pretty picture, whatever, enjoy that. If you want to read about a fragrance, read the little thing. And these little kind of stories are where these fragrances take me. I've normally got my headphones on, I'm normally sniffing it, and I go, so yeah, there you go. And I think you do a really good job of that. And I suppose I get the compliment that bloke was probably saying, what people shouldn't be judging or watching your content because of how you look. It's all the other stuff, isn't it? It's the content that actually matters, I would say. But this modern world, and I can't imagine what it's like to be a woman I mean, I'm not on camera, but us blokes get away with being scruffy and what have you, and women get absolutely hammered if they're not looking absolutely perfect, which is a sad state of affairs, isn't it? But again, the world we live in it.
So another random question from John. This time is, what is your favourite fruit? So I'm assuming that you mean in perfume rather than in general life. In life in general, I would say my favourite fruit is an orange. That's the one that I eat the most often. And when you get a good orange, it is just pure joy. There's nothing that makes my heart sing more than a really beautifully sweet, zingy orange. And I just love it when you can separate all the segments and feel all those juicy bits bursting in your mouth. I just love oranges. I'm probably very basic in my fruit needs, but orange is my favourite. I think in fragrance, it's a difficult one because I like quite a lot of different fruits, but I would say that probably the one that I've liked the most and most consistently is cherry. But I think 2022 and the releases of 2022 really tested my love of cherry. But I still think it's cherry. I just really like it when you get a you get a really sweet juicy cherry, or when you get a boozy cherry, or when you get a drier cherry. They're all good, all of them. So yeah.
These random questions are never random. If you've worked in education or something to do with people, you understand that they're icebreakers to set people at ease, but there's no question that's pointless. Maybe what sort of fruit you like says something about you, and people can analyse. So yeah, remember this, people. No question, as daft as it sounds, is ever pointless. There's always something you can read from it. Well, yeah, cherry is lovely. You do like the sweeter things in life, I see there, Claire. That's all I need to say on that, isn't it, really?
Have you met anybody from the fragrance community in real life, and were they different from their online persona? Yes, I've met 4 different people in real life. I've met John, Scentedsnowdrops, here on YouTube and on Instagram. I've met Chantal Tiffany from YouTube, and I've met vegan perfume girl Maddie from Instagram, and also Nicola from the Sniff from Instagram. And yeah, I think all 4 of those were really as I had imagined them from knowing them through social media, actually. I think Chantal Tiffany is very open and honest in her videos, in that she's very much an introvert, and I definitely would agree with that. I think when I met her in real life, I just thought she described herself to a T. I think YouTube is just a breeding ground for extroverted introverts, actually. I think there are a lot of us out there, and people who wouldn't necessarily sort of say much in real life are actually quite happy to natter away on YouTube and to edit videos and to talk about fragrance. So yeah, met all of those, and they're all very nice.
So I must say it was a great honour to actually meet you, Claire. And it's strange, obviously I don't ever meet the people we really get on with and stuff. I don't see the point in big awkward meetups and stuff, but it was interesting. I think were you technically the 3rd person I met? And yeah, we just got on as well as we do on this. I think because a lot of people who I interact with, especially, and probably you, are themselves. They're not some sort of weird what have you. Yes, Chantal is absolutely lovely, just as glamorous in real life and down to earth, and just a lovely lass, really, isn't she? And Gabby's really lovely, a chatterbox, a great person to be around. And Nicola and Maddie, well, yeah, although with Nicola, I mean, I was very drunk when I met her, because we've been drinking all day, but Nicola's somebody who, again, don't meet your heroes, but I did, and Nicola is probably even more fantastic in real life, isn't she? And my fanboying was probably quite out there. In a way, it's good I was drunk, because I probably wouldn't have been able to say a word to her. But yes, meeting the people, it's great, isn't it? And when you find out they are exactly, the same as we imagine them to be and stuff, it's even better.
What are you most proud of about your channel? I'm just really happy that people like my videos. I don't think I really need to, achieve any particular number. I don't really want to, be a huge channel. I think that would be a lot of pressure. I'm just really happy that I managed to get a video out a week regularly, and I think that is something that I never thought I could commit to. I never thought that I would be as bothered to make one video a week for probably what is nearly 2 years now. I think that's really shocked me. And I've really enjoyed and been proud of the fact that I don't do it for any other reason other than the fact that I enjoy it. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for affiliate links. I don't do it for PR. I just simply do it because I like it. And I think that really makes me proud of my channel and what I've achieved. And obviously there are some nice videos there. There are videos that I'm particularly proud of. I really like the science ones. I really like the discussion videos. I like the ones where I've synthesized information, where I've said something different, where I've made a video that nobody else would make. Those ones do make me particularly proud. But yeah, I mean, I like making videos, and I'm happy enough if somebody else likes one of my videos.
Well, yeah, I get that. There's some of your videos, again, this is cringe doing it this way, that are the science ones especially, are the best I've ever seen on YouTube. Some really interesting ones, the musk one, for example, the flowers, the kind of myths behind the flowers and stuff like that, stuff that I kind of absolutely enjoy. And yeah, I think you should be proud, Claire, really, because as an outsider you have a very loyal, consistent fan base, and you're still growing, but you've always got them same people who tune in every week, and that must feel really good. I'll be honest, I have the same 3 or 4 people who watch my videos every week, and that is nice. And in a way, I suppose you end up making videos for them. I mean, this is really conceited. I only make videos or posts or whatever that I'd want to read and I enjoy. If I'm the only person who watches them back occasionally or reads them again, so be it. And that's where you've got your passion, isn't it? If you enjoy what you do and you'd want to watch what you do, then it's good, isn't it, really?
Have
So
you
yeah.
ever considered packing it all in? What stopped you? Yes, there was a point at which when I didn't buy a ring light for ages. I don't know why I didn't buy a ring light, because it makes life so much easier because you can film at night, and I just don't have very much time in my life, so I've no idea why I didn't just spend £30 on a ring light, but I didn't. So yeah, when I got to a point where it was getting dark in the evenings back in October 2021, I had a bit of a break, and coming back after a little bit of a break, even a month off, was really difficult, and I was quite surprised at how difficult it was. I felt worried about what I was going to post, and I always feel a little bit worried about what I'm going to post, but that really was quite a big thing. It felt like a big step to come back onto YouTube, and I think it must be really, really hard if you've been away for, a couple of months, a year. It must be just quite a big hill to climb. So I think the thing that stopped me really was the fact that I was at the time on about 800 subscribers, and I just thought, if I give up now, I'm never going to get to 1,000, and I'm never going to want to do this ever again. So I just have to keep going. I kind of made myself come back, and I think once you start making videos again, you get more and more inspired, and you get to the point where you have ideas popping into your head again, because sometimes you can just feel a little bit dried up and like you don't have very many ideas. But actually just making a video about something, even if it's a very basic topic like autumn fragrances or whatever, can just really help you to come back to YouTube. So yeah, I have thought about giving up, but I haven't done so far. But I get it. When life gets busy, it can become quite stressful to think about YouTube as well.
Well, I think we're all glad about that, really. Yes, I understand. I mean, my breaks are kind of well hidden. I don't know why I do everything every single day and so rhythmically, but obviously that gets hard at times. I tend to make sure there's always enough to be able to kind of do that. And one of the things I must admit I struggle with, I try to have a day off sniffing every week. And obviously if I've got everything done as much as I can, I try to have a day off from doing any posting or writing or anything as well, because yeah, you need to give your brain a rest, don't you? And it is hard. I had last year, which this year, this time's coming up, isn't it, where it's cold and dark and I had no heating. I still technically don't, and I just was really struggling to be creative, to be interesting. Although I find it easier writing than the videos. But you just do the videos, and they are so time consuming. You have to be in the mood to do them, and otherwise, yeah. Anyway, I'm waffling on. I can understand that, and I think we're all glad.
What do you hope people get from your content? I think the thing that I really want people to get from my content is that if they're watching something factual, or if they're watching something that's based on my opinion, that it makes them think about their own opinions and makes them kind of synthesize information in their own minds about their own experiences with fragrances. Because I think actually consciously thinking about your own experiences can help you to make better choices with your fragrances in future, and can really help you with your purchasing decisions and make you sort of more aware of what you like and what you don't. And sometimes what you think you like and what you think you don't, in reality, is not right. So yeah, I just want to make people think more about what it is that they are drawn to with fragrance.
I think you certainly do achieve that, Claire, to be fair. I learn a lot from your videos, and I'm as stubborn and closed-minded as I am about what I think my opinions are. I do like to hear others, and you talk about a lot of fragrances that very different to my taste. That's another great thing, actually. I mean, about YouTube, isn't it? It's watching and learning about things you wouldn't normally sniff or enjoy, and hearing what other people think about it. I think you do a great job of that.
If the opportunity arose, would you do this professionally? No way. No way I'd do this professionally. It's just so stressful, I think, if you do it professionally. I had my one experience of PR in 2023 and they sent me 10 fragrances and I was so worried about reviewing those fragrances and I tried them all so many times. So 10 fragrances, I tried each of them at least 3 times. So that's already a month, isn't it, gone of perfume wearing. And I also went to stores and tried all of the fragrances that those fragrances were trying to dupe so that I could do some comparisons if I didn't own samples already. So that took a lot of time, a lot of note taking, a lot of sampling, and ultimately, I just don't think that I'm that kind of person. I just don't think that. I mean, I can't imagine that most channels would go to that lengths. Maybe when people get PR, they don't bother to do all of that. But I don't think I don't think I'm the type of person who, if I didn't do that, I could feel satisfied with what I was saying. I'd have to get to the point where I could know that what I was saying was my absolute opinion on something and not something I'd just winged. I think that would really upset me. So I think PR in a way is something that can really stress me out, and I'm not sure I want a lot of PR in my life. I'm much happier really buying things and choosing things myself because there's less pressure. If you make a mistake, you can just say I made a mistake and you can just declutter it, can't you? Whereas with PR, how do you ever get rid of it? If you don't like it, if you don't use it, what do you do with it? I don't know. So the things that stand out for me as reasons why I wouldn't want to do this are really that you're basically a brand's lapdog. If you don't say something positive about that fragrance that you've just been gifted in PR, you may not get future PR from that brand. And that can mean that your income is effectively going to go down because you're going to have to buy those fragrances if you want to talk about them. And I think that's a major issue, and that's really why I tend not to watch many bigger YouTubers, because I don't trust what they're saying. I think also the problem with being a bigger YouTuber is that you have to make quite generic content to stay at a position where you've got high views, because you need views in order to get subscribers. If you don't make a generic video, you're not going to get that video pushed on YouTube for people to then see and for people to then subscribe to you. So that kind of dictates the type of content that you can actually make as well, because your income depends on that content. Also, you're very at mercy of trends. You can be Little Miss Hot one minute, and then the next minute you may just not be the flavour of the month anymore. Someone else could come along who's more popular. And that may mean that your channel may actually shrink and you might not earn as much money that month. And that's the other thing as well. You're basically at the mercy of ad revenue from YouTube. And if you choose to use them, which I think most professional YouTubers do choose to use them, because ultimately you're going to get so much more of your income from affiliate links if they're paying 10 to 15% a time, which is basically what most of them do pay, then you are also going to be kind of biased in your opinions as to what you think of fragrances, because surely if it's in your interest for somebody to buy a fragrance from one of your affiliate links, you're going to make it look like a good deal, you're going to talk about it positively, even probably more positively than you normally would, because you want people to buy that fragrance so you can eat tonight. So no, I wouldn't do this professionally. I think I'm quite happy with my day job. And I also just think it's a lot of pressure to come up with video ideas all the time, to have something new to show people, because you would have to make 3 or 4 videos a week to be able to keep and sustain that kind of forward motion as a YouTuber, I think.
I do understand where you're coming from. I mean, I'll be as brief about this as possible, but this is kind of, my thing, isn't it, really? Not really, but I do say too much about it. But there are 3 sorts of PR people, I think. There are people like you and me and stuff who get the occasional stuff, and it is a lot of pressure, it is a lot of work. But again, I don't know if anyone's noticed, I've had PR. A lot of the time I've had one lot of PR from a brand, because I ain't what they're looking for. I've never really understood why they bother with me. Not just going to toe a party line or a script. And then there's, I think some brands are surprised sometimes when you do put so much effort into it. I've had brands comment I wasn't even expecting a post. I think a lot of them don't, and I would never take PR if it's you must do this in a certain amount of time, blah blah blah, or so many posts, because nobody controls me. I'll do it when I'm ready, and I can imagine the pressure. And then there's the big massive YouTubers like say like the likes of, say, Chris Fragmental, Demi Rawling, but both massive, but both, yeah, they are advertisers. Maybe they did have a passion for fragrance. Demi's a very intelligent businesswoman and very damn good at what she does. Whether the passion's still there for fragrance or not, who knows? And she wants to be famous, and she has been. There's Chris Fragmental, who's an actor. Of course he's perfect for advertisement. And you can understand why they're so big, because this is their skill set, this is their careers, etc. So, yeah, good on them. And this is their profession, and they do know how to make the content that gets the views and stuff. So hats off to them. And then there are the triers, aren't there? There are the people who purely start this and do this to get free shit. It doesn't matter what it is. This could be fragrance, it could be blades of grass, it could be, you know, whatever. They just want free shit. And that shows. It absolutely does show. They will say anything about anything to get anything, won't they? And my word, they are the hardest to watch of all people, and they're all suspiciously big. When one or two people watch their videos, they have subscribers of hundreds of thousands, etc. Yeah, but I definitely agree with what you're saying. If you're good at it and you know, it's your skill set, go for it, and good luck to you. And that's why I still watch people like Chris, and for example, because, you know, he's good at what he does, isn't he, really? And we know what we're watching, and he has to make these videos. So yeah, I completely get it. PR's nice, because we like want to smell as much as we possibly can, and we're not millionaires, are we? So yeah, good answer. And it's a difficult topic, isn't it, to talk about. It's not offending anyone. Everyone has different motivations, don't they? And all are valid, I suppose.
What are brands that you love and dislike, and why? Well, I've made an entire video about this subject, and I called it Brands That I Love and Brands That I Don't Understand, because I don't want to say that I dislike an entire brand, because how can you say that if you haven't tried all of their fragrances? And I doubt that I've tried all of the fragrances from any brand actually now. Yeah, I was going to say that I've tried all of the fragrances from Floral Street then, but I know that they've just released Almond Blossom this last year, so I haven't tried all of the ones from Floral Street even. But yeah, I think, you know, with those brands that I talked about in those videos, I've kind of expressed my views on those, so I'm not going to go over those again. But I think some other brands that I would say that I dislike, the one that really stands out is BDK. So BDK is a brand that I really thought that, from what I've seen on YouTube, that I would absolutely love this brand. But I've tried 4 or 5 fragrances from them now, and I've just come to the conclusion that they've all got a very heavy dose of ambroxan in them, and I find it incredibly off-putting. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm against ambroxan. I like it in some contexts. I clearly love it in Kenzo World. That's a fragrance I really like that contains a very heavy overdose of ambroxan in it. But it's just different in a different context somehow in that fragrance. It doesn't smell quite as heavy and as cloying as it does in BDK fragrances, quite as headachy as it does in BDK fragrances. I think from fragrances that I really like, one that really stands out, a brand that really stands out, is Kayali. And it's not because I love all their fragrances. I don't even like all of their fragrances, but I really like their marketing strategy. I think it's really interesting how they've taken a marketing strategy that's worked in the world of makeup and they've made it into something that can work in the world of perfume. And I just really respect the brand owner as well, with Monica Tan. I think she's really done an excellent job of marketing her fragrances. And I think that when you look at the price point of those fragrances and you compare it to what else is out there, for example, some influencer fragrances, there's just no way that I would buy those fragrances over a Kayali fragrance. I think with Kayali, you're getting a certain quality, and that quality is even lacking in mainstream designer these days, and that invention is lacking in mainstream designer these days, and almost that excitement as well. I think Kayali have an excitement about them that a lot of brands are lacking. But yeah, those two are what I'm going to say for this video, but I could go on about this topic endlessly because there's a long list on both sides.
Well, weirdly, I agree with you with both there. I mean, the brands I like, you can tell because I'll try absolutely everything I humanly possibly can from them. Kilian, Amouage, well, my Bray J Plant, you know, there's a passion there. I want to sniff them all, but you don't love them all, and that's, of course you don't. How can you? You know, not everything is made for you, and if you do love everything from a brand, I think that says that the brand isn't so good because it's only catering for the likability and stuff, isn't it? Maybe. yeah, BDK, Initio, Parfums de Marly, Mancera, Montal, and probably Afnan or Ardal Zafran. I believe they're all the same brand. I believe they are fitting that economic model. Yes, I did economics. I know it's hard to believe, but where you've got the three things, haven't you? You've got the cheaper, affordable, whatever. You've got the mid-range, which most people go for, and then you've got the luxury range. However, them products, the difference between them is negligible at best, if any difference. In fact, the packaging and what it comes in, etc., and the PR around it is where the different amounts of money are spent. So, I'm not nothing against Ardal Zafran or brands like that. I perfectly believe they could be the same, get all the same stuff, because they're the cheap ones. People are going to buy them, think they've got a bargain. And then you've got the mid-range ones, which are the mid-range ones in there, Mancera, Montals. The mid-range, aren't they? And most people are going to go for them. And then you've got the perceived luxury ones, Initio, Parfums de Marly, etc., which have flashy packaging, but luxury, my word, is pushing it. They're all basically the same. Some might be a bit stronger than others, but yeah, I mean, come on. That's why I believe these fragrances from these brands especially are so easy to clone accurately. It says a lot, doesn't it? And yes, Kayali, brilliant brand. I think because Mona's so likeable, that helps it. But this is the kind of modern push, the modern phase of perfumery and stuff, isn't it? Social media and influence and all that stuff is the way forward, and they've embraced it and they are brilliant at it. Well, what a genius family the Huda family are, and it's hard not to admire them. People hate seeing the PR pushed all over, they get a hard time, and then you think, take a step back, mate. All the other brands do this, it's just they get you to do it. The Huda don't need people to do it because they are influencers. They're very likeable and very good at what they do. Maybe that's why influencers don't like them so much. Don't get me wrong, they send PR out to the right people, and that is that kind of flood the market mechanism. So everyone is going to see someone talk about one, and it works. It's not the greatest thing to see, but it bloody works.
Finally, what would you like to discover more of? The last couple of years have proven to me that indie is where it's at with the invention. John has very kindly sent me a lot of indie fragrances, and there have been a few loves actually, and probably more so than the designer releases that I've tried in the last year. I think really with designer I'm already harking back to an era that's gone past, whereas indie I'm yet to discover really. And there's just so much out there, and there's so many different brands to try, and I feel like I've only really scratched the surface really. But I do think that John has been quite a filter as to what I get to try, and that's probably increased my hit rate with indie. So I think I need to make my own way in the world of indie and just see exactly how many good things I discover on my own, and whether that really translates into something that I want to explore further, or whether I feel disappointed by, perhaps buying sample set after sample set and not finding something that I truly love. So yeah, indie is really where I'd like my efforts to go in the next year or so.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, it's where I've gone the last couple of years. If you want to discover things that are interesting, not generic, that you've never smelt before, that are a window into a perfumer's imagination and creation, and it can take you somewhere, and it's interesting and exciting, indie's where it's at. You're right, obviously you've only sniffed the stuff I've really liked, which isn't all indie, and like I say, it's not everything from every house, but yeah, we have our own biases and we need to go out and sniff them ourselves. There's going to be some stuff you just don't enjoy, there's going to be some stuff that's just too abstract. I think indie comes later. I was lucky because it came very early in my journey, but I think it comes later as you get bored of all the stuff, don't you? And you want something a bit different. So I'd say that's a great avenue to explore. And there's endless amounts out there, new people all the time. Again, some of it might not be to our tastes or loves or all that fantastic to us subjectively, but yeah, there's a lot out there, isn't there really? That's not to say you won't find a decent designer house or fall in love with something they do, or there's great design. Of course, there are great designer fragrances out there. They're getting rarer and rarer, and niche is going down that generic kind of pathway now, but there are still some houses out there that don't follow the mould exactly, and hopefully I like a house like this is why I like Amouage. even with the newer ones, they are still bringing out the odd, interesting one. There are more and more of the kind of not very amouagey but more mainstream things. Fair enough. Got to make money, haven't they? And if that gives them the opportunity to make the interesting ones for the more perfume people out there, people who want something different and exciting, then that's great, isn't it? You can't criticise that. So yeah.
So thank you so much for letting me be a guest on your channel. I've really enjoyed answering your questions, and I can't wait to see the other interviewees that you have as guests on your channel too. So thank you again, and bye.
Yes, thank you, Claire, for doing it. This has been the most weird, stilted way of us doing it, which I don't know. The next time I do this, I'm sorry to you, Claire, but it will have to be like a Zoom call or something like that. So this really has stifled the interaction, and I feel like me answering you makes it about me, because we're not having a conversation. That's my fault. That's my very bad planning. But we live and learn, and this is not going to be something I do loads. I've got the 2 next people lined up. Why did I do this? Because I was just interested in the people I watch and the people I really like. And for me, it's not some, interviewing the influencer or whatever. These are people I want to do, who I admire and I have a slight relationship with, at least. I really enjoy the next 2. They're really interesting people. We have, friendly conversations and stuff, and I'd consider them friends. So you have that. I know I can ask them more kind of searching things. And why? The honest truth is I want to know the answers. It doesn't matter whether the content exists. I just think it might be interesting to other people. But I genuinely want to ask the questions. There are other people I'd love to do it, but I don't think they'd want to do it, which is fair enough. And people don't like always talking about stuff, and some people might feel they don't have a lot to say, although I think they would. But yeah, so thanks for watching this. This was ridiculously long. I know this even before I've put my bits in, which are going to make it insanely long. If it's over an hour, you can watch it in chunks. Come back to it. You don't have to watch it all. You don't have to watch it at all, but you should be watching it for the great Claire. And it's an honour, because we don't know much about Claire, do we really? And she's like a rising star. That's patronising, isn't it? Somebody who has grown massively, and we all know. And like I say, I didn't know about Claire's existence till Smelly Sam, Sam Smells, told me about, and other people kept banging on about this Claire. She's fantastic, you should go watch her. So I did, and yeah. Right, folks, thank you. Is there, I'm asking, but there's no promises or guarantees. Was there anything you wanted to ask Claire? I'm sure you can ask her in the comments down there. Is there anyone you'd like me to do my long, laborious, endless, boring, tedious style interviews with? I can't promise that that'll happen. It won't probably, but you can put, you can ask and I'll try. All right, folks. Thank you, and thank you for your support.